it's got problems. Big problems. Problems these two guys deal with every day. Wu Jiangwen and Jiang Wei are Shanghai harbor pilots. Their job, climb on board cargo ships arriving from the open sea and steer them to a safe berth at Shanghai's docks. And that's even harder than you think. The color of the sea reveals why. Muddy brown, the color of a river. Every year, millions of tons of silt wash down the Yangtze River and into the sea. Where the Yangtze meets the ocean, all that silt piles up in sandbars. Exactly where hundreds of ships are sailing into Shanghai. At low tide, the silted-up entrance to the world's busiest cargo port is only 7 meters deep. And in today's world, any ship that can clear 7 meters is a mere rowboat.
The biggest ships that come into Shanghai need 12 meters water depth. So they are very dependent on high tide. So when we go in or out of port, we have to pay very careful attention to the height of the tide.
Today's vessel needs only 8 meters depth. It cleared the sandbars at high tide. But that doesn't mean Wu Jiangwen and Jiang Wei are having a nice day. They look relaxed, but they know their problems are just beginning. Because Shanghai's aquatic arteries are seriously clogged with more than just silt. Their ships now entering the Huangpu, a smaller river that runs through Shanghai. And they're about to steer it through one of the worst maritime traffic jams on Earth.
Normally, we'll have more than 100 ships coming into the river mouth and another 100 ships going out over 24 hours. And that's just the big ships over 5,000 tons. I'm not even counting the smaller ones. It is not a simple matter of one ship following another. There are ports all along the river. Ships have to cut across traffic, so there is a lot of risk.
Shipping expert Matthew Flynn compares sailing up the Huangpu to commuting to work in the middle of the Indianapolis 500.
It's probably one of the most exciting and memorable journeys that any ship captain can make. That doesn't mean that he's looking forward to it. It's probably the most challenging port entrance there is in Asia.
And believe it or not, there's more. If you measure the Huangpu River bank to bank, it's 400 meters wide. But our two pilots know they're working with a lot less.
The navigable waterway, the waterway that's deep enough, is fewer than 300 meters wide. In some places, it's only a bit more than 200 meters.
And that worries Shanghai pilots, because a moving ship needs a distance 3 to 5 times its length to turn around. To avoid a collision, a 100-meter-long ship will need 300 to 500 meters. And on the Huangpu, it isn't going to get it.
For instance, The ship we're on today is 145 meters long. So when it comes into the river, it can't turn itself around. And ships don't have brakes like cars do. If you slow a ship down to avoid a collision, you can't steer it. It would just drift out of control. So if there is an emergency, there is nothing I can do.
That's why everybody's glad when the tugboats finally take over and push the ship into the dock. Because to these guys, a cruise up the Huangpu is about as relaxing as steering a runaway truck through a crowded shopping mall. Shanghai's navigational challenges make life interesting for Wu Zhanwen and Jiang Wei. But why should they